Hey everyone, it's Nikki. Let's make some pillows today. So I took some drop cloth and you don't necessarily have to measure. I did not. I think this is probably like 12 by 10 maybe. And I'm taking some fabric tack and I'm just going along the sides. This is a no-sew project. The next one we will be sewing, but you can certainly go in with your fabric tack. So I'm going all the way around and I'm going to leave an opening to put my batting. Then this fabric I got on Temu last year, and I'm just going to cut my own heart. Sorry, there's so much noise. I got a 200-pound, well, 120-pound grand dog, and he's just a little frustrated with me right now because he wants to play in the snow. So I'm going to cut this heart out, and I'm just going to cut the one out. Then I'm going to take this batting and some more fabric tack, and I'm going to use the corner to my advantage. So I'm going to just put the corner of the heart right into the corner of my batting, and there's less waste this way. I don't like to waste if I don't have to. Then once I get this cut out, I'm going to bust out my sewing machine and just sew the batting and the rose fabric. You could certainly do yours a little bit differently, but I like the stitched primitive style look, and this is certainly going to be like a shabby chic, kind of primitive looking pillow. Well, it's not really even yeah, never mind. Don't listen to me. So I kind of rough up the sides a little bit, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to place that. Before I do that, though, I'm going to take out my Christmas postage stamp and also my ephemeral stamp, and these are by IOD. If you're thinking about getting into stamping, IOD's ephemeral stamp is, I think, one of the best ones. There's just so much to that stamp and just so well worth it. And this is from my Floral and Pine stamp. I keep checking to see where I want to put my heart, but I want the writing to really show. So I'm just going to add a little bit more, and I'm going to glue my heart down. But I've realized it was a little bit too long because I want it to kind of look like an envelope. So once I took off maybe an inch and a half. Um, I'm going to take some more fabric tack and glue down my heart. I'm adding some distress ink around the sides just to add a little bit extra, kind of makes the heart pop a little. Now I'm going to take some chiffon ribbon and make a pretty pink bow. I realize there's some black ink on it, and I was just kind of looking at it for a second, but then I decided I'd just use it anyway. It's no biggie, right? So I made kind of just a messy regular bow. Doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going for perfect, we're going for shabby chic. Before I glued it on, though, I'm going to go in with my polyfill, and as I'm putting it in, I thought I had just the one opening, and then I realized I had another opening that was a little bit bigger, so I ended up closing the one on the bottom and just using the big one. I'm going to fill my pillow up. You could certainly use fluff from an old pillow, but this I had bought from on one of my trips to Goodwill. Now I'm going to glue my bow right up the top corner here and then just tack down the ties. And that's it. No overthinking it, guys. Just, use whatever fabric you have on hand and just wing it. All right, for my next pillow, we're going to sew this one. And this is a huge pillow. It's like maybe 20 by 20, maybe 24 by 24. I wing everything, I swear. And I busted out my sewing machine, and I also cut a piece of batting. So 2 pieces of drop cloth and a piece of batting, and of course the batting's in the center. And I'm going to glue to keep it intact, but I'm also going behind that with my sewing machine. So I'm gluing about an inch in, and then my seam is probably like a quarter of an inch. And again, this is going to have that primitive look. You could certainly do yours differently. You could have it so you could have the seam on the inside. I just like the look of the stitch work on the outside. And this is adding the fabric tack. I didn't show that in the beginning. This helps so you don't have to pin it. Now that that's done and I have my opening set aside, I'm going to take out some transfers by IOD, and this is the Menagerie transfer book from, I think it's from last year. And so this book is filled full of florals, beautiful greenery, cherry blossoms, birds, bird cages. There's just so much to this. This is absolutely beautiful. And of course, it has fruits. So I'm just figuring out placement. I want the bird cage and the trees. I want a little bit of everything. And surprisingly, I haven't used transfers on fabric, but it transfers over so easy, almost easier than it transfers onto, you know, any other surface. I was actually pretty surprised. And if you've done this before, I want to know, do you seal the fabric in first and then put the transfer? I wasn't sure, and I tried looking up videos and I couldn't find any that showed, um, whether they sealed in the fabric and then put the transfers, or I just ended up sealing mine afterwards. But I didn't want my bird in the cage. It just kind of didn't feel right. So I hung the bird cage, and it looked like the florals are kind of, I don't know, hanging behind it maybe. Then I just added to the tree, so the tree looks nice and full. And then I wanted it to look like, there was another tree kind of in its midst of growth, a little smaller than the other. And I wanted it to look like my bird was just sitting on a perch outside his cage and getting ready to take flight. I wanted my bird to look like he has a mate, so I added another one to the lower part of this tree. And his tail kind of got cut off, but that's okay. Then just going to add more florals to this. And another little branch down below. Then I took out Saint Germain transfer booklet and just wanted this pretty butterfly. So I'm going to add that to the lower part of my pillow. And I took out that ephemeral stamp and just added this to the upper left-hand corner and then filled my pillow up. And I didn't realize until everything was said and done that I had Mod Podge for fabric, and I ended up taking some Extreme Guard in Satin by Paint Couture, and it left some darker spots on my pillow. I'm not really worried about it, but I'm just kind of bummed that I forgot that I had a brand new bottle of that. So hopefully next time I will remember. Oh, I forgot that I took this and I sprayed it, and then after that I went in with my Extreme Guard. This isn't going to be able to be washed, but I think they came out beautiful. Let me know what you think of these. Thank you for spending a bit of your day with me. And if you like the video, as always, go ahead and hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Until the next one, bye.